Welcome to my channel. Have you ever felt that you know many English words, you understand grammar, and maybe you can even read English very well, but the moment you start speaking, your pronunciation still sounds different from native speakers? Maybe people ask you to repeat yourself again and again. Maybe you understand English movies, but when you try to speak, your words don't sound smooth or natural. If this has ever happened to you, don't worry, because you are not alone. Millions of English learners around the world face exactly the same problem. Now here's something interesting. What if I told you that there is one powerful practice method used by actors, interpreters, public speakers, and advanced language learners that can completely change the way you speak English? A method that can help you improve your pronunciation, your fluency, your listening skills, and even your confidence at the same time. Sounds exciting, right? That method is called shadowing. But wait, here's the biggest problem. Most English learners are using shadowing the wrong way. They repeat random sentences again and again, but they still don't sound natural. And because they don't see fast improvement, they eventually give up. But today, I'm going to show you 5 powerful shadowing techniques that actually work, even if you are a complete beginner. These techniques will help you sound clearer, smoother, and more confident when speaking English. And trust me, one of these techniques is so powerful that after practicing it consistently, you may even surprise yourself when you hear your own voice. By the end of this video, you will understand why some learners improve their pronunciation very quickly while others stay stuck for years. So stay with me till the very end, because the last technique is the most powerful one, and honestly, it can make your pronunciation improvement feel almost like magic. Let's begin. Before we jump into the techniques, let's first understand what shadowing really means. Shadowing is a speaking practice method where you listen to a native speaker and immediately repeat what they say almost at the same time, like a shadow following a person. The goal is not just to copy the words. The real goal is to copy the pronunciation, rhythm, stress, intonation, emotion, and even the energy of the speaker. In simple words, you are training your mouth and brain to work together naturally in English. This is exactly why shadowing is so powerful. When children learn their first language, they don't study grammar rules first. They listen, imitate, repeat, and slowly develop natural speech patterns. Shadowing works in a very similar way. It helps your brain absorb English naturally instead of translating everything in your head. Now let's talk about the first shadowing technique, slow motion shadowing. This technique is perfect for beginners because it trains your mouth muscles slowly and clearly. Many learners try to speak too fast immediately, and because of that, their pronunciation becomes unclear. Instead, choose a short audio clip, maybe just one sentence, and play it at a slower speed. Listen carefully to every sound and repeat it slowly. Focus on how the speaker connects words, where they pause, and which words they stress more. Don't worry about speed at the beginning. Clarity comes first, speed comes later. The second technique is emotional shadowing. This is one of the biggest secrets to sounding natural in English. Native speakers do not speak like robots. They use emotions in their voice. Sometimes they sound excited, surprised, serious, relaxed, or even frustrated. If you only repeat words without emotion, your English may sound flat and unnatural. So when you practice shadowing, copy the speaker's feelings too. If the speaker sounds excited, you sound excited. If they whisper softly, you whisper softly. This trains your intonation and makes your speech sound much more alive and authentic. The third technique is mirror shadowing, and this one can completely change your confidence. Stand in front of a mirror while practicing. Watch your mouth movements, your facial expressions, and your lip positions. English pronunciation is physical. Your tongue, lips, and jaw all work together to create sounds. By watching yourself, you become more aware of how you speak. Over time, this helps you improve difficult sounds and speak more confidently in real conversations. Now here comes the fourth technique, recording shadowing. This technique may feel uncomfortable at first, but it is incredibly effective. Record your voice while shadowing a native speaker. Then compare your recording with the original audio. At first, you may notice many differences in pronunciation, rhythm, or speed, and that is completely normal. The important thing is awareness. Once you notice your mistakes, you can start improving them step by step. Many advanced English learners say that recording themselves was the turning point in their speaking journey. And finally, here is the fifth and most powerful technique, blind shadowing. This is the technique that can take your pronunciation and fluency to another level. In blind shadowing, you do not read the script while listening. You only listen and repeat instantly. This forces your brain to focus deeply on sounds, rhythm, and connected speech instead of depending on written words. At first, it may feel difficult, and you may miss some words, but that's okay. The more you practice, the faster your listening and speaking skills improve together. This technique is powerful because real conversations in English happen in real time. Nobody gives you subtitles during a conversation. Blind shadowing trains your brain to react naturally and automatically. After enough practice, you will notice that English starts flowing out more smoothly without too much thinking or translating. Now remember this. Shadowing is not magic if you only practice once in a while. Consistency is the real secret. Even 10 or 15 minutes every day can create huge improvement over time. Small daily practice is much more effective than practicing for 3 hours once a week. Also, don't try to sound perfect immediately. Every fluent English speaker you admire was once a beginner too. Improvement happens gradually. Some days you will feel amazing, and other days you may feel stuck. That is completely normal. The key is to keep practicing and trust the process. So starting today, choose one technique from this video and practice it daily for the next 7 days. Record your progress and notice how your pronunciation slowly becomes clearer and more natural. You may actually be shocked by how much your voice changes after consistent shadowing practice. If you enjoyed this video and learned something useful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss future English learning lessons. And in the comments below, tell me which shadowing technique you want to try first. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video. Chapter 1. What shadowing really is and why most English learners fail at pronunciation. Let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever spent months, maybe even years, studying English, only to feel disappointed when you actually try to speak? You memorize vocabulary. You study grammar rules. You understand English movies better than before. You may even read articles and write messages confidently. But the moment you start speaking, something feels wrong. Your pronunciation may sound unnatural. Your speech may feel slow or disconnected. Sometimes you know exactly what you want to say in your mind, but your mouth cannot produce the words smoothly. And when native speakers respond with "sorry" or ask you to repeat yourself, your confidence drops immediately. If this has happened to you, you are definitely not alone. In fact, this is one of the most common problems English learners around the world face. Many people spend years learning English but still struggle to sound natural in conversations. And the reason is surprisingly simple: most learners train English the wrong way. Traditional English learning focuses heavily on grammar, vocabulary lists, reading exercises, and written tests. Schools often teach English as if it were only an academic subject. Students learn rules, complete exercises, and memorize definitions. But real spoken English is completely different from textbook English. English is not only something you study with your eyes. It is something you train with your ears, mouth, brain, and even your emotions. Speaking is a physical skill, just like playing football, dancing, or learning an instrument. Think about football for a moment. Imagine someone who reads football books every day, watches football videos, memorizes strategies, and studies famous players. Will that person automatically become a great football player? Of course not. At some point, they must enter the field and train their body. They must repeat movements again and again until those movements become natural. Speaking English works exactly the same way. You cannot become fluent only through studying rules. Your brain needs listening practice. Your ears need sound training. Your tongue and mouth need movement training. And this is where shadowing becomes incredibly powerful. So, what exactly is shadowing? Shadowing is a pronunciation and fluency technique where you listen to a native speaker and repeat what they say almost immediately, like becoming their shadow. You try to copy not only the words, but also the pronunciation, rhythm, stress, speed, pauses, emotion, and connected sounds. In other words, you do not simply repeat English. You imitate it. For example, imagine a native speaker says, "How are you doing today?" Many learners pronounce every word separately. How are you doing today? But native speakers usually connect the sounds together naturally. It may sound more like, "How are you doing today?" Notice the difference? Native speakers rarely speak like robots. They connect sounds smoothly. Some sounds become softer. Some words become shorter. Other words become stressed more strongly. This is one of the biggest pronunciation secrets many learners never fully understand. Most learners focus too much on individual words and not enough on spoken rhythm and sound flow. They may know thousands of vocabulary words, but they have never trained themselves to connect those words naturally in real speech. That is why their pronunciation sounds stiff or unnatural. Shadowing solves this problem because it trains your brain to copy real spoken English exactly as it is used in daily conversations. And here is something truly interesting. Shadowing works similarly to how babies learn language. A baby does not study grammar books. A baby does not memorize vocabulary lists. Instead, babies listen to sounds repeatedly. They observe pronunciation patterns. Then they imitate those sounds again and again. At first, babies make mistakes. Their pronunciation sounds unclear. But slowly, through repetition and listening, their speaking improves naturally over time. This same process can help adult English learners too. When you practice shadowing consistently, several powerful things happen at the same time. First, your listening improves because your ears begin recognizing natural English sounds more clearly. Second, your pronunciation improves because your mouth learns new movement patterns. Third, your fluency improves because your brain becomes faster at processing spoken English. And fourth, your confidence improves because English starts feeling more familiar and automatic. This is why shadowing is such an effective method. It combines listening and speaking together instead of separating them. Now let's talk about another important misunderstanding many learners have. Some people believe good pronunciation means having a perfect American accent or sounding exactly British. But this is not true at all. Good pronunciation is not about sounding identical to a native speaker. It is about being clear, smooth, understandable, and confident. You do not need to erase your accent completely. In fact, accents are normal. Almost everyone in the world speaks with some kind of accent. What matters most is communication. Can people understand you easily? Can you speak smoothly without fear? Can you express yourself naturally? Those are the real goals. And the best part is this: pronunciation improvement is not based on talent. It is based on training. Many learners believe they are too old to improve pronunciation. Others think they simply do not have the ability. But science and real-world experience show that adults can absolutely improve pronunciation with enough repetition and listening practice. Of course, improvement does not happen overnight. Shadowing requires patience and consistency. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You may struggle to keep up with the speaker. Your tongue may feel slow. You may miss words completely. You may repeat sentences incorrectly many times. But that struggle is completely normal. In fact, struggling is often a sign that your brain is actively learning something new. Every fluent speaker you admire once struggled too. Another mistake many learners make is practicing words individually instead of practicing complete sentences. For example, they repeat isolated words like comfortable, vegetable, interesting, water. But real English pronunciation changes inside full sentences. For example, the word going to is often pronounced like gonna in casual speech. Want to often becomes wanna. Did you can sound like didja. These changes are difficult to notice if you only study vocabulary lists. But shadowing helps you hear and copy these natural speaking patterns automatically. And here is another hidden benefit of shadowing: confidence growth. The more your brain becomes familiar with English rhythm and speaking patterns, the less fear you feel during conversations. English begins feeling less foreign and more natural. Learners who practice shadowing regularly often notice something surprising. One day, they suddenly realize they are speaking faster and more smoothly without consciously trying. That is because repetition slowly builds automatic speaking habits. Now, before moving to the next chapter, I want you to try a small exercise. Read this sentence naturally. What are you doing? Now try saying it again faster and more smoothly, like a native speaker. What are you doing? Notice how different it feels? This small difference is exactly why shadowing matters. It trains you to hear and produce real spoken English instead of textbook English. And over time, this can completely transform your pronunciation, fluency, and speaking confidence. In the next chapter, we will begin exploring the first powerful shadowing technique that can immediately help you sound clearer, smoother, and more natural when speaking English every day. Chapter 2, Technique 1, Slow Shadowing for Clear Pronunciation and Better Mouth Control. Now that you understand what shadowing is and why it works, it's time to learn the first real technique. And honestly, this is one of the most important techniques for beginners because it builds the foundation for everything else later. This method is called slow shadowing. At first, slow shadowing may sound too simple. Some learners even think, if I speak slowly, won't my English become slower? But the truth is actually the opposite. Slowing down helps you build accuracy first, and accuracy creates fluency later. Think about learning to drive a car. In the beginning, you move slowly because your brain is still learning control. But once the movements become natural, you can drive faster without thinking too much. Pronunciation works the same way. One of the biggest mistakes English learners make is trying to copy native speakers at full speed immediately. They open a movie clip or YouTube video, hear fast English, panic, and think. Native speakers talk too fast. But here's something important you need to understand. Native speakers are not always speaking extremely fast. Very often, they are simply connecting sounds smoothly. And because learners are not trained to hear connected speech, English suddenly sounds impossible to understand. This is exactly why slow shadowing is powerful. When you slow audio down, your ears finally begin noticing the hidden details inside spoken English. You hear where words connect. You hear which words become softer. You hear which syllables get stress. And for the first time, English starts sounding less mysterious, so let's learn how to do slow shadowing step by step. The first step is choosing the right audio. Do not choose long speeches or complicated podcasts in the beginning. That usually creates frustration. Instead, choose very short clips with clear pronunciation. Even one sentence is enough. You can use YouTube videos, interviews, podcasts, movie scenes, TV shows, English learning channels. The most important thing is clarity. Choose speakers who talk clearly and naturally. For example, maybe the speaker says, "I'm gonna call you later." That sentence is short, natural, and perfect for practice. Now comes step 2, listen carefully. Do not repeat immediately. First, simply listen. Focus deeply on the sounds. Notice the rhythm. Notice the emotion. Notice how the words connect together. And here is something interesting. The sentence is written, "I am going to call you later." But the speaker actually says, "I'm gonna call YA later." This is one reason learners struggle with listening. Spoken English often sounds different from written English. Here are some common examples. Want to becomes wanna. Going to becomes gonna. Got to becomes gotta. Did you sounds like didya. What are you can sound like whataya. At first, these changes feel confusing. But after enough shadowing practice, your ears begin recognizing them automatically. Now let's move to step 3, replay slowly. Most video platforms allow you to slow audio speed to 0.75 or even 0.5 speed. This is extremely useful for beginners. And let me tell you something important, slowing audio is not cheating. Professional musicians slow music down when practicing difficult songs. Athletes practice movements slowly before increasing speed. Language learners can do the same thing. When the audio becomes slower, your brain finally has time to notice every sound clearly. Now comes the most important part, shadowing with the speaker. Play the sentence and repeat almost immediately behind the speaker. Not after 5 seconds. Not after the sentence completely finishes. You want to stay close behind the speaker like a shadow. And remember, you are not only copying words. You are copying pronunciation, rhythm, stress, emotion, pauses, sound connections. For example, if the speaker sounds relaxed, you should sound relaxed too. If they sound excited, copy the excitement. This may feel strange in the beginning, but this emotional copying actually helps pronunciation become more natural. Now let me show you the biggest pronunciation mistake most learners make. They focus too much on individual words. For example, they practice like this: I want to go there. Every word sounds separated. But English is not spoken word by word like a robot. English is connected and rhythmic. In fact, English is almost like music. Some words are strong. Some words are weak. Some sounds become longer. Others disappear quickly. Listen to this sentence: I want to go there. Notice how want and go receive more stress? Now listen again: I wanna go there. Suddenly the sentence flows smoothly like music. This is why rhythm matters so much. If pronunciation is only about correct individual words, speech sounds unnatural. But when rhythm improves, your English suddenly sounds smoother and more fluent. This is one of the hidden powers of slow shadowing. It trains your brain to hear English rhythm naturally. Now let's talk about something many learners never think about: mouth movement. Pronunciation is not only mental learning. It is also physical training. Your lips, tongue, and jaw all need practice. Think about going to the gym. The first time someone exercises, their muscles feel weak and uncomfortable. But with repetition, the muscles become stronger. Your speaking muscles work the same way. Certain English sounds may feel difficult because your mouth is not used to those movements yet. For example, the TH sound, the American R, fast connected speech, stress, timing. These require physical coordination. And this is exactly why shadowing helps so much. You are training your mouth through repetition, not only studying theory. Sometimes learners ask, why can I understand English but still not pronounce it correctly? The answer is simple. Understanding is passive. Pronunciation is active. Your brain may recognize the sound, but your mouth still needs training to produce it naturally. That is why daily repetition matters. Now here's the good news. You do not need to practice for 3 hours every day. In fact, short daily practice is often more powerful than long weekly practice. 5 focused minutes every day can create huge improvement over time. Here's a simple exercise you can start today. Choose one short sentence. Example: how's your day going? Now, listen carefully 3 times. Slow the audio down. Shadow the sentence 5 times. Focus on rhythm and connection. Repeat daily for 1 week. That's it. Simple consistency is far more important than complicated study methods. And here's something exciting. Many learners begin noticing small pronunciation improvements after only 1 week of slow shadowing practice. Maybe your speech sounds smoother. Maybe your listening improves. Maybe you feel more confident speaking. Maybe English starts sounding clearer than before. These small changes are powerful because they motivate you to continue. Remember, fluency is not built in one day. It grows little by little through repetition. Every sentence you shadow trains your ears. Every repetition trains your mouth. Every practice session builds confidence. And slowly, something amazing begins happening. English stops feeling like a school subject. It starts feeling like a real language inside your mind. In the next chapter, we'll move to the second shadowing technique, a method designed to improve your speaking speed, rhythm, and natural flow even more. And once you combine it with slow shadowing, your pronunciation improvement can become much faster than most learners ever expect. Chapter 3, Technique 2, Echo Shadowing to sound more natural and confident. Let's begin with something very real that happens to almost every English learner. You are watching a video in English. Maybe a movie scene, a YouTube clip, or a conversation. You understand the meaning. You even feel confident while listening. Everything seems clear in your mind. But then something strange happens. The moment you try to speak, your mind goes blank. You know the sentence. You recognize the words. But your mouth does not move smoothly. You hesitate. You pause too much. Sometimes you even forget simple words that you already know. This gap between understanding and speaking is one of the biggest struggles in English learning. And the main reason is pressure. When learners try to speak in real time, the brain feels overloaded. It is trying to listen, understand, remember grammar, choose words, and pronounce correctly all at the same time. That is too much for a beginner or intermediate learner. So what happens? The learner freezes. This is exactly where echo shadowing becomes extremely helpful. Echo shadowing is a simple but powerful technique where you first listen to a full sentence completely, and then you repeat it immediately after the speaker finishes. It is like an echo in a cave. The sound comes first, and then your voice follows. That small delay of 1 or 2 seconds gives your brain something very important, processing time. Instead of panicking, your brain calmly understands the sentence first, and then your mouth repeats it. This removes pressure and builds confidence step by step. Now imagine this situation again. Instead of struggling to speak instantly, you listen peacefully. You understand the sentence. You feel the tone. You notice the rhythm. And then you repeat it naturally. No panic. No confusion. No rushing. Just smooth learning. This is why echo shadowing is perfect for learners who freeze while speaking. Now let's go deeper into something very important. Pronunciation is not only about correct sounds. It is also about emotion. Think about this carefully. In real life, native speakers do not speak like machines. Their voice changes depending on how they feel in that moment. They can be excited, angry, surprised, tired, confused, happy, sarcastic. And their pronunciation changes with their emotion. Let's take one simple word, really. Now listen carefully to how different it can sound. Surprised, really. Angry, really. Excited, oh, really. Confused, really. Interested, oh, really. Same word. Same spelling. But completely different meaning depending on emotion. This is something many learners completely ignore. They focus only on correct pronunciation of words, but they forget emotional expression. And because of that, their English sounds flat or robotic even if it is grammatically correct. Echo shadowing fixes this problem naturally because you are not only repeating words, you are copying the speaker's emotion too. Now let's talk about intonation in a very simple way. Intonation means the rise and fall of your voice when speaking. Think of it like a melody in music. If someone sings a song using only one flat note, it sounds boring and unnatural. But when the melody goes up and down, the song becomes beautiful. English works the same way. For example, questions often rise, "You're coming." Statements often fall, "I'm coming." If you say everything in a flat tone, your English will sound unnatural even if your grammar is perfect. Echo shadowing trains your ear to notice these patterns automatically. And slowly, your voice starts copying them without thinking. Now here is a very interesting truth many advanced learners do not realize. Some people study English for years and still sound unnatural not because they don't know vocabulary, but because they never practice emotion. They memorize words. They learn grammar rules. They practice writing. But they never train how English actually sounds in real emotional conversations. So their English becomes correct but lifeless. That is why echo shadowing is so powerful. It brings life back into speaking. Now let's talk about a very important practice tool, recording your voice. At first, this may feel uncomfortable. Most learners do not like hearing their own voice in English. It sounds strange. It feels awkward. Sometimes even embarrassing. But this discomfort is actually a good thing. Because when you listen to yourself, you notice things you cannot notice while speaking. Wrong stress, missing sounds, flat tones, slow rhythm, unnatural pauses, and once you notice these mistakes, you can fix them. This is one of the fastest ways to improve pronunciation. Let's be honest, every fluent English speaker today once sounded awkward in the beginning. Nobody starts perfect. Fluency is built through repetition, correction, and practice. So instead of avoiding mistakes, you should use them as learning tools. Now here is a simple echo shadowing exercise you can start today. Step 1. Choose a short clip. Pick a movie line or YouTube sentence like, "I can't believe it." Step 2. Listen carefully. Play it 2 to 3 times and focus on tone and emotion. Step 3. Pause and repeat after the speaker finishes. Repeat the sentence exactly as you heard it. Step 4. Copy emotion. Don't just say words, copy feeling. Step 5. Record yourself. Compare your voice with the original speaker. Step 6. Repeat for 5 to 10 minutes daily. That's it. No complicated rules. No stress. Just consistent practice. Now here is your 7-day echo shadowing challenge. For the next 7 days, use one short English clip each day. Practice echo shadowing for 5 to 10 minutes. Focus on emotion more than perfection. Record your voice at least once daily. Compare and improve slightly every day, and something interesting will happen. After just 1 week, you may notice you speak more confidently, your voice sounds more natural, your intonation improves. Your hesitation decreases, English feels less stressful. This happens because your brain slowly adapts to real speech patterns. And most importantly, you start feeling comfortable speaking English. That comfort is the real beginning of fluency. In the next chapter, we will explore another powerful shadowing technique that helps you speak faster, think in English more naturally, and reduce translation in your mind while speaking. Chapter 4, Technique 3, Rhythm Shadowing to sound like a real English speaker. Let's start with something very important that most English learners never hear clearly. Pronunciation is not only about individual sounds. Yes, sounds like R and L, or th, or vowel pronunciation are important. But they are not the main reason someone sounds natural or unnatural in English. The real secret behind natural English is something deeper. It is rhythm. If your rhythm is wrong, even perfect pronunciation will still sound unnatural. But if your rhythm is correct, even with a small accent, your English will sound smooth, clear, and natural. This is the difference between robotic English and real English. Now think about this carefully. Have you ever heard someone speak English where every word sounds equal? I am going to the market today. Each word sounds the same. No stress. No flow. No music. That is robotic English. Now compare it with natural English. I'm gonna go to the market today. Some words are strong. Some words are weak. Some words almost disappear. But the sentence flows smoothly like music. This is rhythm. And this is what we will train in this chapter using a powerful method called rhythm shadowing. But before we learn the technique, let's understand something very important. English is a stress-timed language. This means not every word is pronounced equally. Some words are strong and important, while others are weak and fast. Think of English like walking on stepping stones. You do not step on every stone with equal force. You naturally step strongly on important stones and lightly on smaller ones. English works exactly the same way. In a sentence, the important words are stressed: nouns, people, places, things, main verbs, actions, adjectives, describing words, important ideas, and the less important words become soft, to the is and. These small words are not fully pronounced in natural speech. They become weaker, faster, and connected. For example, I want to go to the park. In natural speech, it sounds more like I wanna go to the park. You don't hear every single sound clearly because English connects and reduces sounds. Now here is the key idea. Native speakers do not speak word by word. They speak in rhythm patterns. It is like music. Some beats are strong. Some beats are soft. Some beats are almost silent. And that is why native English sounds smooth and effortless. Now let's introduce the technique. Rhythm shadowing means you stop focusing only on perfect words, and instead focus on stress, speed, pauses, flow, melody of speech. You are not copying every sound perfectly anymore. You are copying the feeling of the sentence. Think of it like dancing. You are not counting every single step. You are following the rhythm of the music. Now let's make this very practical. Take a simple sentence: I don't think it's a good idea. A beginner might say, I do not think it is a good idea. Slow, separated, robotic. But a natural speaker says, I don't think it's a good idea. Smooth, connected, flowing. Now listen carefully. Some words are stressed: don't, think, good, idea. Other words are weaker: it's, a. This is rhythm in action. Now let's talk about something many learners suddenly realize when they practice rhythm shadowing. The aha moment of listening. Many learners struggle to understand native speakers in movies or real conversations. They think, They are speaking too fast. But the truth is different. Native speakers are not speaking too fast. They are just connecting words and reducing sounds. For example, what are you going to do? Sounds like, what you gonna do? Once learners understand rhythm, listening suddenly becomes easier. Everything starts making sense. Now let's make this even more fun with something called the robot test. Imagine two people saying the same sentence. Sentence, I am going to visit my friend today. Robot version, I am going to visit my friend today. Slow. Equal. No emotion. No rhythm. Natural version, I'm gonna visit my friend today. Smooth. Connected. Natural stress. Now ask yourself, which one sounds like a real person? Which one sounds like a machine? This simple comparison helps your brain understand rhythm instantly. Now here is something very important. Many learners think speaking slowly is good for pronunciation. But speaking too slowly word by word actually destroys rhythm. It makes English sound unnatural. Real fluency is not about slow speaking. It is about smooth speaking. You can speak fast or slow, but rhythm must stay natural. Now let's talk about breathing and pacing. When learners speak English, they often stop after every word, take unnatural pauses, run out of breath quickly. Break sentences in the wrong places. This makes speech sound broken. Rhythm shadowing helps fix this naturally. Because when you copy native rhythm, your breathing starts matching the sentence flow. You learn where to pause. You learn where to continue. You learn how long a sentence should feel. It becomes automatic over time. Now here is a very important truth. You do not need a perfect American or British accent to sound good in English. This is something many learners worry about unnecessarily. Accent is not the main problem. Rhythm is the main problem. If your rhythm is natural, people will understand you easily and you will sound confident. Even with a strong accent, good rhythm makes your English sound pleasant and clear. This is very encouraging for learners because it means you do not need to become someone else. You just need to improve how you speak English naturally. Now let's do a simple rhythm shadowing exercise. Step 1. Choose a short sentence. Example, I'm really happy today. Step 2. Listen carefully. Notice which words are strong, which words are weak, where the voice rises or falls. Step 3. Shadow the rhythm. Do not worry about perfect pronunciation. Focus on flow, stress, smooth connection. Step 4. Repeat 5 to 10 times. Try to match the natural rhythm, not just words. Step 5. Record yourself. Compare your rhythm with the original speaker. Now here is a simple 7-day rhythm shadowing challenge for the next 7 days. Pick 1 to 2 short sentences daily. Practice rhythm shadowing for 10 minutes. Focus only on stress and flow. Don't worry about mistakes. Repeat and improve slightly each day. After 1 week, something powerful may happen. Your speech becomes smoother. You pause less. Your English sounds more natural. Listening becomes easier. You feel more confident speaking because rhythm changes everything. And now you are starting to think like a real English speaker. In the next chapter, we will learn a powerful technique that helps you stop translating in your head and start thinking directly in English much faster during conversations. Chapter 5. Technique 4. Blind shadowing to train your brain for real conversations. Let's start this chapter with a simple but powerful question. Can you still repeat English even when you don't understand every single word? Think about that for a moment. Most learners immediately answer no because they believe understanding is the first step to speaking. They think, if I don't understand everything, I cannot speak. But this belief is exactly what keeps many learners stuck for years. Because real conversations in English do not always give you perfect clarity. Native speakers speak fast, reduce sounds, connect words, and sometimes even mumble. If you wait to understand every word before speaking, you will always be one step behind. That is why this chapter introduces one of the most powerful techniques in this entire series. Blind shadowing. Blind shadowing means practicing shadowing without relying on subtitles, written text, or any visual help. You only use your ears. No reading. No guessing from text, no mental translation from your native language. Just listening, reacting, and speaking. At first, this sounds difficult. And yes, it feels uncomfortable in the beginning. But that discomfort is exactly where real improvement begins. Now let's talk about a major problem many learners have. Most learners depend heavily on subtitles. They watch English videos like this, read subtitles first, understand meaning from text, then listen casually. But there is a hidden problem here. When subtitles disappear, confidence disappears too. Because the brain has been trained to rely on eyes, not ears. So in real conversations, when there are no subtitles, learners feel lost. Blind shadowing fixes this problem completely. It forces your brain to trust your ears instead of your eyes. Now let's learn the process step by step. Step 1. Listen without subtitles. Choose a short clip. A movie line, a YouTube sentence, a podcast clip, a short conversation, but do not turn on subtitles. Just listen. At first, you may not understand everything. That is completely normal. In fact, confusion is part of training. Your brain is learning a new skill, understanding real spoken English without visual support. Step 2. Repeat immediately. Now, after hearing the sentence, repeat it right away. Even if you are unsure about some words, you did not catch everything, your pronunciation is not perfect, still repeat. Do not wait for perfection. Because blind shadowing is not about perfect accuracy. It is about reaction training. You are training your brain to respond quickly, like in real conversations. Step 3. Replay and improve. Now listen again to the same sentence. This time, notice missed sounds, focus on rhythm, compare your version with the speaker, then repeat again. Each repetition makes your listening sharper and your pronunciation clearer. Little by little, confusion turns into understanding. Now let's talk about something very important. Learning like children, natural language learning. Think about how children learn language. A child does not read subtitles, study grammar rules, translate words in their head. Instead, a child listens, copies sounds, repeats mistakes, learns through repetition. Blind shadowing recreates this natural learning process for adults. And this is very powerful because your brain already knows how to learn language this way. It just forgot it because of school systems. Now let's talk about something emotional. Fear of mistakes. Many learners stay silent because they are afraid. Afraid of mispronouncing words, sounding silly, making grammar mistakes, being judged, so they choose silence. But silence does not improve speaking. Only practice improves speaking. Blind shadowing teaches an important truth. You don't need perfect English to practice English. You just need effort. Mistakes are not failure. Mistakes are data. Every mistake shows your brain what to fix next. Now let's move to something exciting. Reaction speed in real conversations. One of the biggest struggles in real English conversations is delay. A native speaker says something, and the learner thinks in native language, translates in mind, builds sentence slowly and then responds late. This creates awkward pauses. But blind shadowing trains your brain to respond instantly. Because you are practicing fast listening, immediate reaction, quick speech response. Over time, your brain stops translating and starts reacting directly in English. This is a major step toward fluency. Now let's talk about something very interesting: sound memory. Every time you repeat a sentence, your brain stores it. Not as grammar rules, but as sound patterns. For example, "How are you?" becomes a stored sound. "I don't know" becomes automatic speech. "What do you think?" becomes a ready phrase. After enough repetition, you stop thinking about grammar. You just speak. This is called sound memory. And blind shadowing builds it faster than almost any other method. Now let's talk about something important: avoiding burnout. Many learners make a big mistake. They try to practice too much in one day. 2 hours of shadowing, long sessions, too many difficult videos, then they feel tired and quit. This is not effective. Blind shadowing works best when it is short, daily, consistent, enjoyable. Even 10 to 15 minutes a day is enough if done regularly. Consistency beats intensity. Now let's look at a simple daily routine. Blind shadowing practice routine. Step 1. Choose a short clip, 10 to 20 seconds. Step 2. Listen once without subtitles. Step 3. Repeat immediately. Step 4. Replay and compare. Step 5. Repeat 3 to 5 times. That's it. Simple but powerful. Now let's finish with a transformation example. Imagine a learner named Ali. At first, Ali always relied on subtitles, could understand English but couldn't speak confidently, felt nervous in conversations, paused too much while speaking. Then Ali started blind shadowing daily for just 10 to 15 minutes. In the beginning, he didn't understand everything, he made many mistakes, he felt confused, but he continued anyway. After 1 week, his ears became sharper, he started recognizing common phrases, he reacted faster in speech. After 1 month, he stopped depending on subtitles, he started thinking in short English phrases, he spoke more naturally in conversations. The biggest change was not grammar. It was confidence. Because now English felt familiar instead of scary. And that is the real power of blind shadowing. It trains your brain to behave like a real English speaker under real conditions. No subtitles. No translation. Just listening, reacting, and speaking. Now you are ready for the final technique. A method that helps you combine everything you have learned so far and start thinking directly in English without translating in your mind. And that is where real fluency begins. Chapter 6, Technique 5, Real-Life Shadowing and the Daily System that Changes Your English Forever. We have now reached the final and most powerful technique in this entire journey. And before anything else, let's be very clear about one important truth. If you only practice English inside study time, your progress will always be limited. Because real English does not live inside textbooks. Real English lives in real life. It exists in conversations, videos, interviews, movies, podcasts, social media, and everyday speech between people. That is why this final technique is called real-life shadowing. Real-life shadowing means you take everything you have learned: slow shadowing, echo shadowing, rhythm shadowing, blind shadowing, and bring it into your daily life. Instead of treating English like a subject you study, you start treating English like something you live with. Now imagine this. Instead of saying, "I will practice English later," you start doing this. While watching YouTube, you shadow sentences while listening to podcasts, you repeat phrases while watching movies, you copy intonation while hearing interviews, you imitate rhythm. Even while walking or relaxing, you mentally shadow speech. English becomes part of your environment, not just your study time. And this is where real transformation begins. Because fluency is not built in one night. It is built through small daily habits that slowly reshape your brain over time. Think of it like water drops. One drop does nothing, but thousands of drops can carve stone. That is exactly how English fluency works. Now let's build a simple but powerful system you can actually follow. The 15-minute daily shadowing system. You do not need hours of practice. You need consistency. Here is a simple daily system. Step 1. Listen. 3 minutes. Choose a short real-life clip. YouTube video, podcast segment, movie dialogue, interview clip. Just listen carefully. No pressure. No stopping. Focus on tone, rhythm, emotion, flow. Step 2. Shadow. 5 minutes. Now repeat after the speaker. Do not worry about perfection. Focus on matching rhythm, copying stress, imitating emotion, following flow. If you make mistakes, it's fine. Keep going. Step 3. Echo and blind mix. 3 minutes. Now replay the same clip again. This time, try echo shadowing, try blind shadowing. No subtitles. Repeat immediately after hearing. This strengthens your reaction speed and listening ability. Step 4. Record yourself. 2 minutes. Speak 1 or 2 sentences from the clip. Then listen to your own voice. Compare rhythm, intonation, clarity, flow. Do not judge yourself. Just observe. Step 5. Repeat and improve. 2 minutes. Play the original again and fix small mistakes. This final step is where improvement actually locks into your brain. That's it. Just 15 minutes a day. But done consistently, it changes everything. Now let's talk about something very important. The identity shift. Most learners make a big mistake in how they think about themselves. They say things like, "My pronunciation is bad. I am not fluent. I am not good at speaking." But this thinking slows down progress. Because your identity affects your behavior. So instead of thinking negatively, you must shift your identity. Start thinking, "I am someone who trains my pronunciation every day." This is powerful because it changes your mindset from fixed to growing. You are no longer judging yourself. You are improving yourself. Now let's talk about something very important. Choosing the right voice. Not every English speaker is right for you. You should choose voices that you enjoy listening to, sound clear and natural, feel easy to follow. Match your interest, fun, business, movies, etc. Why? Because enjoyment increases consistency. If you enjoy the voice, you will naturally listen more. And more listening means faster improvement. Do not force yourself to study boring content. Make it interesting. Make it fun. Because fun learning lasts longer than forced learning. Now here is something exciting. Tracking your progress. Most learners never measure improvement. But if you record yourself once every month, something amazing happens. You start hearing your transformation. At first, You may notice better rhythm, clearer pronunciation, more natural flow, less hesitation. Even small improvements feel motivating. And that motivation keeps you going. Now let's talk about the most powerful secret in this entire chapter. Consistency beats talent. Many people think, I am not talented in English. But talent is not the deciding factor. Consistency is. A learner who practices 15 minutes daily will always improve more than someone who practices 3 hours once a week and then stops. Because the brain learns through repetition, not pressure. Small daily exposure builds strong automatic speech patterns over time. Now let's imagine something. Picture yourself after 3 months of real-life shadowing. You understand English faster, you speak more smoothly, you hesitate less, you feel more confident, you stop translating in your head. This is not magic. This is practice. Now let's quickly summarize everything you have learned. Slow shadowing builds clarity and control. Echo shadowing builds confidence and emotion. Rhythm shadowing builds natural flow. Blind shadowing builds listening reflex. Real-life shadowing builds real fluency in daily life. All 5 techniques together create complete pronunciation transformation. Now here is the final truth. You do not need perfect English to start. You only need to start. Because improvement comes after action, not before it. If you practice even a little every day, your English will slowly change. Without pressure, without stress, and without fear. And one day, you will realize something surprising. You are no longer learning English. You are simply speaking it. And that is real fluency. Call to action. If you enjoyed this video and actually learned something useful today, don't just leave it here. Take action right now. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next English learning lesson. Consistency is everything, and each new video will build on what you've learned today. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me honestly, which shadowing technique are you going to start with first? Slow shadowing, echo shadowing, rhythm shadowing, blind shadowing, or real-life shadowing? Even writing your answer helps you commit to your learning journey. I read your comments every day, and I really enjoy seeing your progress and experiences. Don't wait for perfect English to start participating. Start now, even with simple sentences. Keep practicing a little every day, keep speaking out loud, and don't be afraid of mistakes. That's how real improvement happens. I'll see you in the next video.